Okay, so this video is for everyone that belongs to Prince George motorcycle owners. And what it is we have discovered, because our groups are getting bigger, bigger, and bigger, we're getting more and more bikes. You know, last time we went out, we had 16 bikes. We have discovered that within the pack that there's something that's happening, and we wanted to share that with you. What's going to happen is this video is specifically designed for where do you want to ride within the pack. Now here what I have is only 9 riders, but when I have 16 to 20 riders, it extends way back. So you have to use your imagination a little bit here. And what it is when the lead rider, that's usually me, whether here we are at a stop sign, normally we ride staggered, but here we are at the stop sign, we've all kind of lined up parallel with each other, and we're ready to go. Now whether I decide to take the pack down around a corner, or whether I decide to take a pack further down, and it doesn't matter if it's a stop sign or a light or anything. Once we're parallel and we're all stopped, something's going to happen within the pack. And this is what you have to decide before you come out for a group ride, an official group ride, is where would you like to be, kind of place yourself within this pack, okay? So what we've done is we've discovered that as I go, so I'm going to take off here, so I start to go, and in this particular instance, I'm going to turn, okay? The next bike then is going to take off and go, and then so forth. And what you'll see here happening is as each bike takes off, these guys will move up towards the stop sign a little bit slower, okay? And as I take off and I start to go, you can kind of see the bikes are starting to stagger with each other, okay, the riders. And now I've actually come out of the corner here at full speed. And the next guy starts to come out at full speed, you know, half speed, quarter speed, just barely crawling. I'm going to move this guy here. So you can imagine if there was even more bikes, twice as many bikes back here. The bikes that are all the way back here haven't even started moving yet. And me, the lead rider, has already up to full speed. So what happens is if you really enjoy cornering, and you really enjoy cornering at full speeds, or, you know, 3/4 speeds, but you really like kind of getting a little bit of speed into a corner, you want to place yourself at the front of the pack. Because what happens is, let's say that stop sign wasn't there, and I went around a corner, everyone has to slow down for the corner. So the same exact thing happens. As I go around the corner at full speed and the next guy does the next, the pack starts to slow down. So that's where we've discovered that what happens is when we have 16, 15, 20 bikes, that as the bikes come around, the lead rider, that's me, is already going at full speed, whether there's a stop sign, a light, or I'm just slowing down for the corner. What's happening is I'm already at full speed over here, and these guys are either still stopped, because it's a stop sign or a red light, or they're just slowly coming up to the corner because they're preparing for the corner. And I've already throttled out of the corner. So what happens is all these guys at the front of the pack, again, use your imagination that there's a whole bunch of riders back here, that all these guys here are cornering at fairly high speeds. Or they've already gone around a corner after a stop sign or a light, and they've taken off to get up to speed. These guys haven't. So what happens is they come up to the stop sign. Generally with Prince George motorcycle owners, we will roll through the stop sign gently and then try to catch up. But what happens is about the last, if you had 16 riders, the last 6 riders, anywhere from 6 to 8 riders, they come and they gently roll through the stop sign, or they go through the light because the light's green, or they're cornering behind the group, and they've slowed down to prepare for that corner. Is what's happened is that these guys are going full speed, these guys are not. By the time they come out of the corner, they have to literally walk on it like a drag bike. So they've got to catch up. They go around the corner, and then they have to catch up to the rest of the group, which is already further ahead, going full speed, and is way up there. So basically what happens is, you can have a look at the picture here. If you like to drag race, for example, I'm not saying drag race, but I'm just saying if you like to really walk on it, and you love straight stretches, and you love the power, and you love to, you know, really give it on your bike, and you want to go, you know, straight, then you want to place yourself towards the back of the pack, okay? Because the back of the pack is always 100% guaranteed trying to catch up with the front half of the pack. Now, as a lead rider, if I notice that we're spreading out too much, I will slow down my speed. Let's say the speed limit is 60 kilometers an hour. I will slow down to like 45, 50 kilometers an hour if I see too much of this spreading out and these back guys are still way back there, because we want everybody to be able to catch up. But what happens is as you join the pack and as you ride with us more and more, you'll get more and more comfortable. Your job towards the back of the pack is actually to speed up as fast as you can go to catch those riders up front so that I don't have to slow the pack down. So what happens is if you really like to walk on it, you really like to drag race, you really like to give her with your throttle, what you want to do is you want to place yourself towards the back of the pack, okay? When we take off from our starting point, which is usually Tim Hortons. And then what you want to do, if you love to corner, or you love to corner at high speeds, or you love to really throttle hard out of a corner and through a corner, what you want to do is you want to place yourself at the front of the pack, because the front of the pack is going to be very, very busy cornering, taking off, and that kind of stuff. Whereas the backpack, they spend a lot of time catching up to that front pack. So again, if you love to corner and you love to lean into corners, you love to take corners with speed and everything else, and kind of, you know, enjoy that cornering and that leaning, you want to be at the front of the pack. If you love drag racing, or you love to give her with the throttle and you love going straight because you feel more comfortable, more safe like that, then you're right at the back of the pack. If you like kind of in between, where you want to give it a little bit on the corners, but you really want to give it too on the throttle, you want, then right in the middle of the pack. So again, I'll just reinstate that when we have a large number of bikes, the front bikes are always going to be moving up to speed and going the speed limit before the back bikes generally, at a stop sign or a light, are even moving. So be prepared. If you're at the back of the pack, you're going to have to really throttle and give her and, you know, almost be a bit of a drag racing bike. And if you're at the front, you're going to be cornering and that kind of stuff, almost as if a racing type bike, like, you know, a cornering bike. And if you want something in between, hang around the middle of the pack. And that's basically how we do it with Prince George motorcycle owners. And it's the same thing happens if we go straight. The same exact thing happens. The front bikes will go take off, take off, take off, take off. They're already up to full speed up here before these guys have even moved. So remember that. If you want to ride fast and hard and you want to throttle lots, ride at the back of the pack. If you love to lean into corners and you love taking corners and so forth, you ride at the front of the pack. And if you want something kind of in between, you're in the middle of the pack.